Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 4 of the F1 1998 career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Spanish Grand Prix, of course. If you missed out on the video that went live earlier on in the week from the Chinese Grand Prix, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Things are looking pretty good for us so far this season. We are currently still top of the drivers' table. Jordan as well, top of the constructors by virtue of our 3 podium finishes in a row there. I hadn't realised, but David Coulthard has finished directly behind me in every Grand Prix we've done so far in this campaign. Shanghai was carnage, unfortunately. Only 5 of us made it to the checkered flag, so it really was a classic race of attrition. But as we head to Europe this weekend then, and the Spanish Grand Prix, this one, I'll admit, I'm a little bit nervous about. Spain as not usually my strongest track in the world. But yeah, we'll wait and see as to how we get on. Please do make sure you get yourself subscribed if you're new around here as well, and you are enjoying this series, and let's do this thing. Well, here we go then, ready for qualifying here in Barcelona. I must admit, like I said, not looking forward to this one. I certainly don't think we're going to keep our podium streak alive unless we get some craziness. But that being said, there has been craziness in every race so far this season. The most finishes we've had in the race so far has been 11, which is quite impressive. In fact, Ralf Schumacher and I believe a couple of others still yet to finish a race so far this season. But yeah, once again, I feel like it's just going to be consistency that is going to be key over the course of the campaign. We have got a little bit of a points buffer now over David Coulthard. The likes of Hakkinen and Schumacher, though, I'm sure will come back swinging as the season continues to develop. Well, this weekend marks 1/4 distance of the campaign already, although I must admit, I do quite like these little 16 race championships, as we're not a million miles away from Hakkinen at the moment. We're definitely lacking straight line speed. But through the corners, we are able to match that McLaren pretty well here. So Monaco next weekend. Hopefully that bodes well for us there. It's really struggled to try and put the power down. Over the crest, you just feel so much torque from these engines. And of course, no weight to really try and keep them stable over the curves as well. But through the final corner, fairly clean and tidy for the most part. We're going to start inside the top 10. It's going to be P8 on the grid here for Spain. Well, there is certainly a buffer between the big 4 teams and everyone else there, and that just seems to be a buffer that on Saturdays we are constantly filling there. Half a second behind Michael Schumacher, half a second clear of Johnny Herbert there as Shinji Nakano gets himself inside the top 10. But yeah, Michael getting out qualified by his brother Ralph, and Rubens Barrichello all the way up in P3. That's up in P2 even, so that's a really good effort by him. Hakkinen, though, on the pole. I think he'll be looking for his first win of the season here today. Quickly though, before we get into this video, I want to thank all of the names you see on your screen. Without their continued support of the channel, none of the work we do here would be possible. And if you want to get your name featured on this list, you can click the join button or click the Patreon link down in my description below and support the channel from just £1 a month. You will also get access to weekly updates about everything going on behind the scenes, and also occasionally some early previews on videos. So yeah, a massive thank you to my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters, and let's get back to the video.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. The Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya then, a high-speed 2.89-mile circuit which demands an efficient downforce package and bravery on the part of the driver, especially through the blind right of turn 9, which we might just see taken flat this weekend. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, might we be in for some early pit stops today from the midfield teams, all trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you know, you got your own race to run, I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
Well, here we are then, a long race ahead of us here. 33 laps of the old Barcelona circuit. It is quite the test. But yeah, we're going to start this one, I think, on the softs. We'll see how far they go and then decide whether we want to go mediums or hard tyres later on in the day. We know this Jordan has got a bit of a drinking problem, so we'll make sure we put some extra fuel in it as well there. But lining up alongside Michael Schumacher on the grid, it is going to be 5 red lights. Over a ridiculously long hole, but it is lights out and away we go. And actually getting off to a pretty decent start there. As we make our way down in towards turn 1, we'll expect to see Schumacher and Coulthard flying towards the front of the pack as Coulthard having a look down the inside of absolutely everybody at that first corner. Looks like Hakkinen has held on at the front as we get a little bit pinched out over that curbing through turn 2. I kid you not, you cannot, put the throttle down through there as Damon Hill, Shinji Nakano, Johnny Herbert all trying to trade places and maybe even a little bit of paint. And yeah, lap 1, we are really just on the self-preservation tactic there as Magnussen of the Jan variety struggling a little bit as well early on. He's already jumped by Coulthard and Michael Schumacher here off the start of the races. We are just dropping down the order early on. Have been absolutely crowded out at the start of this race then. And yeah, that's been a real shame actually. But of course, I'd rather not risk the car as you can see how much more downforce we've got over some of the other drivers there. Hill, Wirtz and Herbert on the inside, so we'll try and go around the outside of absolutely everybody there. Can't quite put the power down. Ooh, as Johnny Herbert kind of gets in the way, gets out of the way, gets back in the way again. But we'll make it through, back around the outside of both of those Benetton cars. As we make our way then through the final couple of corners. Whoa, careful not to drop it. Really got to be careful there. The car's just so light over the curbing. But it is still going to be Mika Hakkinen that leads the way at the end of lap 1. And apparently we have got no straight line speed at all then. Herbert and Alex Wirtz will fly straight back past me. So we're going to need to make sure we use the rich revs down the straights. And even Frentzen trying to get a look in. Well, already then, just on lap 3, I'm noticing a bit of a pattern here. We are mighty quick through the corners. I think we're running a lot more downforce than most of the AI. But yeah, it's just down the straights. We are losing bags of time there, as you can see how quickly we romp up to the back of Wirtz. It's through Campser. It's probably one of the most noticeable differences there, as we'll get a big run on the Benetton car. Can we have a look down around the outside? Oh, Wirtz, a little bit of a wobble on the apex. We just don't have the confidence to go wheel to wheel with the AI. They are mighty scary. Says that though. Oh, down the inside of Wirtz we'll go. Thank you very much. Cheeky little opportunistic move. But yeah, we need to score some points here. Damage limitation today. Well, we can pretty much reach the same speed as the AI by the end of a straight, but it's just how much less pickup we've got off of the corner, it feels like. I do definitely feel like the downforce really does affect these cars so much. You know, your wing angles really does affect what feels like your acceleration on this game. As Johnny Herbert, a little bit of a mistake there as we try and make our way down the hill. Where is that Benetton going to end up? He's going to end up off the line. And we are backing up into the points, then we go. So we are able to make moves. They're all a little bit scary there as Nakano and Damon Hill a little bit slow just in front of me. But yeah, we've got to try and close back in on the big boys. Oh, Damon Hill there, big wobble as he makes his way out of turn 2, and we'll go clean around the outside of him through turn 3 there. So back into P9 we go. We are taking our chances where we can, but already there's a 5-second gap up to Jan Magnussen up the road. I reckon we can still definitely beat him here with the pace we've got, but I don't know about any of the other front runners. Kano, probably been the weakest of anyone I've followed through Campsa so far. We're going to get mighty close to him. Are we going to be able to spring a surprise? Big dive bomb. And are we going to get it stopped in time? He's going to switch me off the corner. We'll just about hang there, though. Round the outside we'll go. And that is the joy of these classic cars. The fact you can chuck it into a corner so late on the brakes, and it will slow down. It will get stopped Well, back to where we started then in this Grand Prix after just 6 laps. But, ooh, Schumacher's already in. That's a very, very early pit stop then by Michael in that what is effectively the second Ferrari today. One of the teams saying in terms of our strategy, they reckon we can go a bit longer into the stint. As will Meccano get to me? No. Wow, Schumacher then in the second Ferrari peeling into the pit lane, so he's going to move to a set of the hard tyres to see him through to the end of the afternoon. Tyre wear, though, it seems to be even better in 1999 than it was in 98. I'm pretty certain we did 20 laps on a set of Inters in Shanghai, and the tyres genuinely at the end of it were about 2%, so a little bit odd, but we're up to 6th, and it looks like we're quicker than Fisichella and Magnussen, but not by much. So Giancarlo Fisichella then into the pit lane, and Jan Magnussen at the end of lap 10. Mika Häkkinen also peeling in, so everyone has gone very, very different to Ferrari, who I believe therefore might be 2-stopping. They really have embraced the modern Ferrari strategies in this game, haven't they? But yeah, we're still taking time out of Magnussen at the moment. Fisichella, when I nail a lap, we do get a bit closer to him, but not as reliably. So I think we're going to end up in a bit like Australia, where we're really trying to hunt him down towards the end of an afternoon. But yeah, we're able to go a lot longer on this set of tyres. I'm going to try and take him to about the end of lap 15. But I think we'll see Coulthard and Barrichello peeling in as well. Yep, there we go. DC and Rubens into the pits then. So we are going to inherit the lead of the Grand Prix. We have led every race so far this season, simply by going a little bit longer on the opening stint. But yeah, Häkkinen only 6 seconds behind. Well, as we get closer and closer then to our pit window, Häkkinen just keeps setting fastest laps behind me right now, and that gap is coming down. I think we'll still be ahead of him by the time we pit. But yeah, this kind of was a perfect example of really what Jordan's 99 season ended up being like, especially for Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Yes, they'd have the occasional Grand Prix where they'd snooper a win or two, often actually in changeable conditions. But there were a lot of races as well where they simply just did not quite have enough to match, you know, the Häkkinens, the Michael Schumachers, that kind of thing, over the course of the season as well. So we are really emulating that early on in this campaign. I think I'm going to dive into the pit lane at the end of next lap. But yeah, Häkkinen is flying. Okay, Michael Schumacher then. Is he pit again? Schumacher is way down the order to be there and just setting a new fastest lap. No idea what's happened to Michael, but yeah, we're hopefully, I mean, we should certainly be ahead of him. Looking as well at the skies above, there's not meant to be a threat of rain today, but it's certainly looking rather ominous as we make our way through the final corner. Make sure we get inside that bollard into the pit lane. We'll give it credit, it was a much easier pit lane back when we had the chicane. But yeah, we have gone nice and deep then into the Grand Prix. Häkkinen will storm back through and up into top spot. But yeah, where are we going to come out relative to the likes of Jan Magnussen and our teammate? Barrichello there still hanging out there. Damon Hill, I think, has been causing a little bit of a train alongside his teammate Frentzen. It's going to be mighty close on pit exit, and there is Giancarlo Fisichella. So we've got the jump on Magnussen then. We've come out right behind our teammate here, who seems stuck behind the Williams cars, who are both looking to try and go deep into the Grand Prix. Will Fisichella now be able to try and find a run as we try and find where some grip is on this new set of tyres there? Frentzen just trying to absolutely get his elbows out there. Of course, this should have been the car he was driving
Faster engine modes are available.
had we not taken his spot. But are we now going to be able to find a way around our teammate Giancarlo here? So yeah, I don't know how long he's been stuck behind. Magnussen's still a couple more seconds back as we make our way up through Cancer, practically pushing them both along. We are, I mean, this car is so wild in a straight line. It's Fisichella. Oh, almost into the back of our teammate. Oh, we're pretty close as we make our way through the final sector. Are we going to be able to try and get the run down the inside? Come on, Fizzy, you got to give me more room than that, mate, when we're there. I think we made it clear enough early enough that's what we were going to try and do, but it might all be for nothing. So I'm sure Giancarlo will likely get the run back on me down towards turn 1. He's actually dropped a long way back there, and well, that could have been disastrous for the Jordan team at this stage of the GP. But we are through for good. Now we've got to try and get those Williams. Whoa, Frentzen. Again, a little bit early on the brakes. We'll try and find a way around his outside. Can we make it happen? No. Frentzen again. I mean, clearly, if he sees yellow in the mirror, he's just blocking it. Can we try and do what we did to Giancarlo one lap ago? A little bit cheeky. And again, just no way round as Frentzen finally into the pit lane then. So that's good for us. This time round, though, we're going to be more vulnerable to our teammate who gets a run back down towards turn 1. Yeah, let's see Giancarlo then. Look at the difference in the aero package between these two cars there. Fisichella back through. So even though Frentzen's pit, we haven't gained a place. Right, come on then. Let's see what run we can get back through Campser. Giancarlo's definitely got a lot more grip than Damon Hill in front of him. Is he going to be able to find anything? Hill will give him half a car's length and then decides no. Can we go around the outside of Giancarlo this time? No chance. Our teammate has definitely got enough grip on those tyres. You can see how much the car's fighting around underneath us. The other one we've got to be careful of, Michael Schumacher. He's still 15 seconds back, but he is going to be rapid towards the end of this race. Is Hill into the pits? Yep, thank you. Surely we can't get a run on our teammate out of the final corner. We're going to be much closer this time. Just see, he's able just to inch away from us. We have got nothing as now it looks like we're probably locked in for a battle for P5. Ralf Schumacher's in. Why on earth is Ralf Schumacher pitting again towards the end of this Grand Prix? Ferrari, I tell you what, they are doing one of the weirdest strategies I have ever seen here as we are just chasing Giancarlo along. I mean, Ralph's come out right behind me, so I don't think we're going to get the better of him by the end of this. But, yeah, Ferrari on a very, very odd two-stop. Yeah, I think Ralf Schumacher then has got car issues here late on in the day, because he is just dropping back at the moment. Right when we expected him to be a threat, but I'm getting very, very scared of when we end up seeing the other Schumacher on our relative, although we have only got 8 laps to go. So, we got someone out, and that's a VSC. One of the Sauber cars then very, very late on in the day, I believe. This might be Shinji Nakano out of the Grand Prix there. I thought we might get everyone to the checkered flag, but apparently not. Just to confirm, it's actually Pedro de la Rosa that's out of the Grand Prix, but straight off the VSC, we are going to capitalise. Down the inside of Giancarlo will go, and just by virtue of the Delta slowing him down, we have been able to sneak through and up into P4 then, but it's not over. Fisichella, that is so much straight line speed that he's got over me, but can we try and fight it back through turn 2 and turn 3? Both Jordans running such completely different setups that you can see where the advantages are around the lap, but 6 laps to go, and neither of us are giving up on P4. Oh, Jacques Villeneuve and Mika Salo practically pushing each other along. They've actually got a very, very good lineup down at Arrows this season, but are they going to get in the way as we try and navigate our way through this final sector? Jacques Villeneuve does a good job there. AI in this, much better than they are inside F1 Championship Edition. But Salo, annoyingly, is going to give Fisichella a handy little slipstream as we'll make our way back down the start-finish straight. Come on, mate, you've got to at least back out of it at some point. I need to get through as well. What is Salo doing? No, don't come back to the line. What is that, Mika Salo? Come on, move. That is some terrible blue flag driving. That's more like F1 CE. Oh, no, we got even more blue flags out now. As I don't know, I think this is the 2 Minardis, perhaps? No, it's the BAR of Ricardo Rossi, who is actually going to do me a bit of a favour there and slow up Giancarlo. Of course, Fisichella as well, my huge rival in our 2006 season at the moment. But yeah, Nick Heidfeld as well in the other BAR. Is he going to get out of the way somewhere useful? Suddenly, yeah. Rossit there has really done me a number, actually, because he's basically brought us back the gap that Mika Salo lost me. So what is that by Fizzy? I don't know if he thought I was going to try and make a move to the inside or what. But don't say Nick Heidfeld is going to do another what Mika Salo did earlier on. We've got to try and get a run on that BAR. But we're not going to be close enough. Come on, the blue flags. You got to be able to spot the second car coming through, as Heidfeld will barely let Giancarlo by the time we get down towards turn 1. Oh, we'll try and go one way around him. Heidfeld wanted to go the same way, but we are through with 3 laps to go. Oh, Jos Verstappen there, big wobble as he tries to get out of the way of Giancarlo. And again, we are not going to be close enough this time around to a Minardi to try and find a way through. Come on, Jos, you got to spot me here, man, surely. Got to be able to see me in his mirrors as he will finally move, but I'm practically pushing him along. 2 more laps to go. I think we've got 1 more Minardi that we might have to lap, but time is running out. 1 more lap to go then here, and we almost take fastest lap of the day in the process. That's how hard we're pushing at the moment, but everyone is just getting so much quicker as the fuel burns off. Marc Genet, he's going to let Fizzy by down in towards turn 1, but he's not going to let us through. And I think, looking at it, that's probably going to be the last chance we've got. Fisichella now with a 1.3 second lead. We have had exactly 0 luck with the blue flags this afternoon. Making our way, though, up through camps one final time. It is going to be Mika Hakkinen who gets his 2nd win of the season on the board here. Fantastic drive by the McLaren man, and will become our first repeat winner of the season. Apparently, Mika then can only win every other race so far. I believe, yeah, it is obviously a McLaren 1-2, and Rubens Barrichello returning to the rostrum as well there with a fantastic drive to P3 in his Stewart. Ferrari absolutely will be scratching their heads at the end of this one, but Giancarlo Fisichella, he's the one man I can't seem to overtake in this series. It's only going to be P5 at the end.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Well, because I'm a moron then and accidentally skipped past the final race results screen, let's take a look at how the championship table is looking there. David Coulthard now only 4 points behind me with another solid result this weekend. It seems to be us two that are the consistent drivers at the start of the year. Hakkinen, as we said, he'll win one, he'll DNF one, apparently over and over there. And Michael Schumacher, 2 fastest laps in a row, but only seeing the podium in Australia so far there. Giancarlo up in P5 ahead of Rubens Barrichello, who jumps Marc Genet there, and Magnussen as well picks up some good points for this Stewart outfit there. McLaren now 8 points ahead of us in the Constructors' Championship, as Ferrari still with less than half our points, so we might be able to battle them if we're consistent through the rest of the season there. And Ralf Schumacher getting his first points of the campaign still leaves him behind Ricardo Rossi overall. It now just means that it's Alex Wurz and Mika Salo who are yet to score a point. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon ready for the Monaco Grand Prix.